Welcome back to the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. Time now for the top 5 quarterbacks not in the Hall of Fame. And granted, some of these are current careers that have not been yet up for it, so they could still make it. But part of the fun of making this list was trying to draw a line between who is going to make it and who is probably left on the wrong end of it. So let's kick things off here with number 5. Russell Wilson, who I think played his way out of the Hall of Fame in the last 4 years or so, because he was on a trajectory as much as anybody else. 10-time Pro Bowler, won a champion, obviously the greatest quarterback in Seahawks history to some degree. But obviously the last couple of years, I think, have soured a lot of people's opinion of him. It's funny, though, because if you look at Pro Football Reference, they do have a listing on rating for all of these guys and their careers. Russell Wilson is right there with Terry Bradshaw and Bart Stark. Different eras, but he's right up there right after Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. He's as much in this conversation as anybody. Number 4, a guy who I think needs a little bit more respect, Joe Theismann. Won a Super Bowl, went to 2, was an MVP the second time around. Now, granted, he was more back half of his career because it took him a while to find the starting role. Also, nasty broken leg, awful situation. And the sum total of his stats probably don't put him over the top. But that early 80s era is quickly forgotten amongst NFL fans because it's kind of lumped into the 49ers dynasty. But what he did for those Washington teams, really impressive career.
I think the check mark against him, though, for a lot of people was the fact that Washington was able to do what they did in that era with 3 different quarterbacks, win 3 different Super Bowls with 3 different QBs. Plug and play. Whoever's there. If it's Joe Theismann, if it's Doug Williams.
But he was
like a Mike Shanahan offense.
Sure.
Whatever quarterback you have
Absolutely.
at your disposal.
Absolutely. But he also was the first of those to do it and prove that system could work. Number 3, Phillip Rivers, who is the king of accumulating stats without a lot of postseason accolades, and also reset his clock for another 5 years, which might help him to some degree because he's going to avoid this, maybe this glut of quarterbacks that are about to retire and come into this. Brady, Rodgers, all of these guys are about to come in. Now, granted, at this rate, he might be part of Rodgers' class. You know what I mean? Because he keeps pushing, that thing a little bit later on. But no, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. Even without a Super Bowl appearance, he was in an AFC Championship game, 8-time Pro Bowler, still a really impressive career, and even more impressive now that he's doing it in his late 40s. Number 2. Matt Ryan, who I think is on the outside looking in, but a lot of people have borderline, and I think that's where these last couple guys are.
I knew it was coming.
It's the number 2-minute warning. Matt Ryan, one-time Super Bowl appearance, one-time MVP. The passing yardage is top 10, passing touchdowns top 10. I think he's right up there, but I think it's borderline. If he wins the Super Bowl, I think he's in. But since he lost it, I think he's on the wrong side. And at number 1 here, the guy that keeps getting kicked down the can here, Ken Anderson, led the league in passing 4 times, probably should have been part of a number of these old-timer classes in recent years.
Somewhere Jonas yes.
Yeah, exactly. I know he's happy about this, but Ken Anderson rounds out the list.
I feel like Matt Ryan is the comp, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday off the air, where if Dak Prescott is able to have as good a back half of his career as his first half, that's about the ballpark statistically where he would land. And I think it will come down to if he does that, if he has that good a back half of his career and they mix a Super Bowl in there somewhere, then I think his case gets a lot stronger.
And that's the question, is whether or not he adds a title or an MVP. One of the two.
Or to the Drew Brees discussion, he's coming off the best year of his career. It was statistically and just performatively the best year we've seen Dak. If he continues that sort of momentum.
2023 was also, because that was the year he was second in MVP. Those are the two.
But those are here in the last 3 years.
Right.
So if he continues that type of play and continues to have the weapons around him that he has, who's to say that he doesn't mimic Drew Brees in that sense of here we go, and then brings home a Super Bowl? Maybe he is.
I mean, the question will be whether or not they can keep Pickens around and help the offense going, because those numbers will juice whatever case Dak has. Yeah.